Eddie Trunk here backstage at That Metal Show with Mark, Eddie, and JJ from Twisted Sister, who we were able to get here on somewhat last-minute scheduling for obviously very unfortunate reasons, and that is the passing of their drummer, AJ Piero. Guys, thanks for being here, and my condolences to you guys and the Twisted Sister family, and of course AJ's family and friends and many, many fans. JJ, I know that we talked the other day, since this tragedy happened, you've been blown away by the amount of support and kind words from fans all over the world about AJ.
It's been a tragedy, but I just want to say this is what you have to do to get on the Eddie Trunk Show.
You've been on before. You've been on before. Don't start with me.
Can I say this? Well, we can go into a long history of what you meant to the band.
Well, thank you.
And we can do that.
We're not good.
But we're also trying to use humor because it's kind of incredibly traumatic. It is the equivalent of losing a brother. We've been together longer, and we probably spend more time together than we do with our own families. That's the thing. And
unfortunately,
and metal, I think metal is the only genre that really does this. I mean, if you think about it, when we started playing, I mean, Kiss and Deep Purple, all these bands, we started roughly the same time. Now we're celebrating 40 years. Essentially, there's 20 or 30 bands celebrating 40 years. It's a testament to the music. It's a testament to the musicianship. It's a testament to the fans supporting us.
Speaking of musicianship, Mark, this was your partner in the rhythm section of Twisted Sister for decades, and musicianship-wise, I think that people, I've said this many times, I think AJ was a tremendously underrated drummer, and it's something you playing with him for so long, Mark, can certainly speak to, I'm sure.
AJ, without a doubt, underrated, but I'll tell you what, in the last few years, every show we've played, you've seen the drummer in every band stand on the side of that stage. The other headliners and all the bands would come up to watch him, especially during his drum solo. Blew everybody away, blew me away. When we would walk off the stage for his drum solo, JJ and Eddie would go to the other side, and D and I would go to our side. We stand there, and we both would stand there in awe, watching him and listening to what was going on. I mean, without a doubt, the hardest hitting drummer practically ever. Nobody would make the drum set bounce the way he did. Without a doubt. Talent, unbelievable. Unbelievable talent.
Eddie, give us. We'll just go around the horn here. Give us a good memory or story, if you can, about your times with AJ.
People say underrated, but I think a lot of people did know his capability. How
people that knew, people who really
especially
knew,
drummers and
sure.
musicians, and it's just. He's such a solid guy to play with, you know what I mean? And his sense of humor was unbelievable. I mean, there was sometimes some of the joking around, some of the laughs we had were just amazing.
You laughed so hard you cried.
Yeah, he was just, he just was a naturally funny guy.
It was beyond the dimension of just the musician. That's the part too.
Yeah.
The camaraderie was crazy. His sense of humor was amazing. Dee called yesterday and he said to me, take away everything else. The drum beginning of "We're Not Going to Take It" is one of the most famous.
Drum
I mean, if nothing
ever.
else, if we never did another thing, that song, that beginning, right, Mark? 34 countries we play in. What happens when we go into that drum beat?
People go nuts.
People go crazy.
And I think speaking of that song, obviously you guys had those two iconic videos on MTV, which you could, even though that's 30 years plus ago, you can still get the sense of the fun and the spirit of AJ, because there's a couple great moments in there that just make you laugh to this day, and him goofing around and having a great time. And for bands like you, I mean, even to this day, you guys don't do a lot of gigs, but you do a lot of traveling to get to the gigs. It's important to have a guy like that on there to keep everybody loose.
I mean, he wasn't the only one. The whole band was funny. And I have to say that I'm in a band with 4 of the funniest guys I ever met in my life, really, honestly. But that goes back to something else. When you look at sports, I mean, we were just goofing around about the Mets before, but you look at sports, honestly, you have what's called a team, okay? The guys practice together. They got to get along to some extent, if not even great, probably hang out together or anything like that. We had a team. Yeah. We still have a team, but we had a team. He was a member of it, and I don't care if it's a Twisted Sister, a rock band, the Mets, a sports team, a basketball team, a football team, a SWAT team, a military team. When you are with the same members and you make something happen, okay, and you're a team, you know how the other guys are going to think. If you ever watch Twisted Sister, rarely in all the things that we do, even when Dee would bark out commands, we rarely had to look around and figure out what's he going to do? How's AJ going to recover? We knew how it was going to happen. Not because of practicing, just because you knew what he was going to do. We were a team, and it worked every single time, you know?
Yeah.
And then just like a SWAT team rehearses going into a building, and one of their team members has to leave or unfortunately dies or something, and they got to replace that guy, it's tough because everything was a huge amount of teamwork.
Yeah, what John Bonham was to Zeppelin, what Keith Moon was to The Who,
Absolutely.
AJ was to us.
Sure.
And it's that, besides being all, I just mentioned two legends, AJ's up there with them, as far as
No
I'm
two ways
concerned.
about it.
Well, I'll tell you.
His signals were amazing.
Yeah, and for you know, when AJ passed away, he was playing with the band Adrenaline Mob, and if you want to hear a different side to his playing, pick up the record he did with them called Men of Honor, because you know, he replaced Mike Portnoy in that band, so that's all you need to know about his chops, both with Twisted Sister and the other sides to his playing, which are just amazing. But I know we got to wrap it up because we've got to actually tape a TV show here. But the thing I can say from having known him, not nearly as well as you guys, the decades you spent with him, but talk about what a great musician he is. But this was a really, really good guy and a fun guy. Always a smile on his face. Always, you know, greeted you with a big hug. Hey, how you doing? And you know, I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss that seeing him at the shows, and I know you guys are as well. But listen, he went out doing what he loved, playing drums and on the road, and there's a lot of great music still to enjoy and explore and revisit with the great AJ Piero. May he rest in peace. My condolences to you guys, thank you for being here at a tough
Thanks,
time.
Eddie.
Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you.